Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I am going to be telling you about 12 Stephen King books that I want to read and prioritize reading in 2025. I've had this goal for a little while where I want to read all of Stephen King's books. That has changed now because I was reading the Dark Tower series and I absolutely do not like the Dark Tower series, so I have DNF'd those books. So I'm going to be reading as much Stephen King as possible without touching the Dark Tower series. So I'm not going to be completing his entire backlist, his entire collection of work because of that. So that's why I haven't been talking about this goal on my channel, because I am not reading everything that he has written. At this point in time, I have read just over 40 books by Stephen King, and he has published around 86 books, I think. I do have a spreadsheet which is tracking all of the books that I'm reading and what I've been reading them and everything. So I will do some more Stephen King based videos for you guys as well, possibly this year. I do have planned to tell you my top 10 Stephen King books. Actually I think it's top 13. Yeah. So I'm planning to film a top 13 Stephen King books for you, because it seems like a lot of people don't realise that I have read so many Stephen King books. They keep recommending Stephen King books that I have already read, so I think it's about time I deep dive into Stephen King this year and tell you what I've read, ranking them, what my favourites are, what I'm prioritising, and all that good stuff, and some reading vlogs possibly. So getting into it, I do have 12 Stephen King books that I want to read this year, and I picked 12 because there is obviously 12 months in the year. I'm not going to be reading one every month. I will probably double up here and there depending when my library holds come in. That is something I am prioritizing as well. If I want to read a book, I'm going to place it on hold at the library rather than buying it. I have pre-ordered a lot of new releases, so anything else that I want to read, I will probably just pick it up from the library, or if I've got it on my shelf already, I will just pick it up. So let's start the 12 books from Stephen King that I want to read. So the first one that is a big priority is the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. So that's Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers, and End of Watch. So those are 3 books essentially in this list, and I want to read those because I do want to get to some other books that are you need to read the trilogy before getting to, so like Holly and that sort of thing. So I do want to read those. I currently have all 3 of them on hold at the library. One of them is in transit, so I should be reading those really soon, which will be really fantastic. I am really excited to read those. I don't know, a lot of people say like the first one isn't great, the middle one isn't that good either, but the end is better. But I am intrigued to delve into it and see what I think. The next one on the list is one that I have owned, and I have owned this book for about 2.5 years at this point, and that is Christine. It is a chunky one, which is probably why I've been holding off. The chunkiest book I read last year was Bag of Bones, which is also on the shelf in this Halloween edition. And I think, yeah, it was enough for me. It took me 3 months to read, so I feel like this one is going to take me a little while to get through, but Christine is such a pop culture story, and I would just love to finally say that I have read it as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's about a car that comes to life, And yeah, I mean, I absolutely adore this cover, so I do want to delve into this in 2025. And then the next one is The Dead Zone. This is in a lot of top 10s for people, so I am anticipating like this might be one that I enjoy. I have been wanting to read this for a while. I just never really got my hands on a copy, and I've just prioritized others in his backlist. Sometimes the more shorter ones, to be fair, because they're just easier to read. So this is going to be a year of reading tomes, large books from Stephen King. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and we'll see if I actually end up reading all 12 of these books. So there is 2 books on here that I really want to get to, and they're kind of shorter, which are The Running Man and The Long Walk. Both of these books are shorter than the other ones, so I'm anticipating that I'll get through those quicker. Then I want to read one of his crime books, which is Joyland. This is part of the crime series that he has done. I think that's later The Colorado Kid and Joyland. I have read Later, but I haven't read Joyland or The Colorado Kid, so I do want to read both of those. But I think in 2025 I'm going to prioritize Joyland. Then I want to read The Dark Half. This is one that I see people enjoying, so it does kind of seem interesting to me. I don't really have any like reasoning behind these books. They're just ones I think that will be more standouts for me based on the other books that I have enjoyed by Stephen King. So I do think that The Dark Half and The Dead Zone will definitely be ones that I have higher up within my favourites of Stephen King, which is why I would want to read them this year. And then I want to read The Outsider, following the Mr. Mercedes series, because that is like a follow-on from that story, and so I kind of want to continue those. And then I want to read one of his short story collections, which is The Skeleton Crew. I usually don't like his short story collections as much as the novels or novellas, but there is one collection that is a massive standout, and that is Different Seasons. I adore those stories, literally, like all of them are perfect. So yes, I think that that's my favourite short story collection from him, but there are a couple of them that just don't have great stories in them, and so I am wanting to kind of try out some more. And The Skeleton Crew is one of his older ones that I haven't read yet, so I do want to pick that up. And then finally, the last book on this list is Thinner. I want to read this because it just sounds so intriguing, and again, it's another shorter book and it is an older read, so yes, I do want to get to that. You'll probably see that a lot of these are like older, like pre-2000s, simply because I do want to start checking off more of his backlist. I have read a lot, but I do kind of just want to keep up with that. I do have a variety of time periods that they've been written and different lengths, and some series, some kind of follow-ons, and some that have been written when he was writing as Richard Bachman. So I do have a mix of different things in this list, which I'm hoping is going to diversify the reading that I'm doing whilst reading Stephen King, because he can get very samey and I get bored after a while of reading Stephen King stories. So last year I had only read 3, and this year I'm wanting to read 12. So it is such a huge jump. I think in 2022 I read like 15, so it did get a little overwhelming, but I think if I do read these 12, then in 2026 I'll probably only read like 1 or 2. So we're kind of reaching that goal sporadically. But I am intrigued to get to some of these books, and I'm excited to kind of film some reading vlogs for these books. You'll probably see the Mr. Mercedes series as one big vlog because I feel like that just makes sense. So I'm going to be doing that one, and I will probably combine the Running Man, the Long Walk and Thinner in a vlog as well. So yeah, you've got some content to look forward to, and do let me know in the comments if you've read any of these, if you recommend them, or if I should be wary going into them. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you're picking up any Stephen King books this year, and do stick around because it would be really good to have you here. So do subscribe and come back for more Stephen King videos and everything else in between. So thank you so much for watching this pretty short video, and I guess I will catch you in the next one. But until then, keep your pages turning and embrace the darkness. Bye!